Meteorologist Casey Cloud live with you from the Weather Center again on this Tuesday track, and it's a bit thunderstorm warning in play for parts of St. Johns County until about 5:30. Watching some weak rotation with this as well. There's a tornado possible tag on this storm, so there's a chance before it gets to the coast, this could get upgraded to a tornado warning. So you got to be really careful here in toward part of St. Johns County right now. Seeing this rotation on our storm relative velocity mode, you can see some greens and reds trying to come together here west of Volano, just northwest and maybe west-northwest of Volano Beach here at this point. You can see these gate-to-gate colors going to about 50 miles an hour or so. Seeing some of that here on our scans. Just have to be really cognizant, really careful about this here. Right now in the northern part of St. Johns County, again, a severe thunderstorm warning in play until about 5:30, but there's also a tornado possible tag here. So let's go ahead and go to the radar scan. You can see that hook on the storm. I'll back it up. You can see how it's kind of developing a little. It became a little more discreet on us here. In fact, making this a little more likely that potential. At 5 o'clock, a severe thunderstorm was located near Wardgoff Village, or 7 miles northwest of St. Augustine, moving northeast at only 5 miles an hour. So mainly rural areas in St. Johns County, but nonetheless, I mean, this is just east of 95 here. Some folks definitely could be out here. There's a flood warning in play as well. I know Weather Service in Jacksonville says remain alert for possible tornado, as tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you spot a tornado, go out once into the basement or a small central room in a sturdy structure. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of your building. Again, severe thunderstorm warning in St. Johns County. There's some rotation with this though, so we could get a tornado to develop quickly with little or no advance warning. As you can see in the last hour, some areas getting closer to South Ponte Vedra Beach, around 3 inches. So again, that's a lot of rain here that can cause some flooding. That's why there's a flood warning in play until 7 o'clock for parts of St. Johns County. The excessive rainfall here at 5:07. Talking about that potential was the office in Jacksonville. So watching this up here, let's go ahead and take our severe thunderstorm warning banner away for now and go to the north though. And you can see some more wind enhancement in Duval. I'm surprised they haven't issued a warning here because we were watching this earlier when we were on. It has gotten a little bit stronger and be a little bit more broad right now. But you can see how it's kind of been going here. The greens and reds indicative of some wind potential coming right into downtown Jacksonville right now. Maybe only over 50 miles an hour versus 60, but still could have some damage from this as we're getting toward parts of Jacksonville. So again, just gonna continue to watch this, continuing to monitor things here. In the weather center. Again, that's right over Jacksonville. More population. Obviously, that's a significant advisory. But this was looking a little bit stronger. Still, it's looking pretty strong, though. We're looking towards St. Johns County, north and maybe west-northwest of Volano Beach here. At this point in time, some rotation on the Doppler radar here. Watching for debris. Not seeing any right now, but this could get upgraded to a tornado warning if that rotation were to intensify. So again, just going to keep checking all the different resources that we have. Let me go ahead and check to see if we have any power outage information here right now. Anything new in that regard? I'll go ahead and check some of the different maps that we have here. As we look at the Florida outage maps right now, about 3,000 customers in the dark in the state, but not really seeing too much over towards St. John's or Duval yet, but that could change here in short order. Let me go ahead and keep looking at this again. You see some greens, you see some reds there. Let's keep just looking at some of our different views. I know we have a camera view if I can go to it. We'll try to trigger this in. It may be a little bit at this point, a little bit kind of late to get the best viewpoint on this, but as we're getting further away from I-95, but yeah, we can still see some of this remaining here. Let's go ahead and pull this on up if we can. I'll take traffic full, or traffic source full, and you can see here, you can see what's going on with this, and we're gonna look here at I-95 at Marmor 317. We're seeing some more interesting cloud features a little while ago, but still dark here to some degree outside right now. Let's look at the right part of the screen. That looks to be the most impressive view in terms of the clouds here. Nothing really overwhelming, but just kind of seeing those slick roads here at this point toward that Florida 511 perspective. So again, just continuing to watch things here. Looks like the rotation's weakened a little bit now, which is some good news, but we'll just continue to give you guys the latest here as the situation progresses, as it continues to evolve. Looks like, again, not quite as much. Maybe with this, you had to force in with some stuff kind of breaking apart a little bit here, and that might have got this going a little bit more so. You can see that little hook on there. You still see the hook, but we don't have the greens and reds quite as strong, maybe put together as they were, but still, it's a bit thunderstorm morning for another 16 minutes here, so let's go ahead and zoom back out. Get back into toward Jacksonville. You see some greens and reds right downtown. Let me see if we have any information. I know there's some weather stem stations down there. Let me see if there's a weather stem station update from the stadium area where the Jaguars play. I'm just gonna see if we have anything because the winds might have picked up in that area over the last few minutes. It'd be kind of interesting to find out. So I'm going to try to pull that up here real quick if we can. Our TIA bank field is what it's called here. Weather stem site, I guess, to 24 miles an hour in the last 10 minutes. So nothing overwhelming, but still a little bit gusty, a little bit of an issue out there. I said whenever thunder roars, obviously you got to go indoors. But let's go ahead and look back down toward parts of St. Johns County now. Again, you can kind of see what we're dealing with here. Just monitoring things down there with that warning that continues. Severe thunderstorm warning, not tornado warning at this point, but there is a tornado possible tag in there. That means weather service is just under there. Roy, seeing that threshold needed for a tornado warning to be issued. It's enough to say that it could happen in a outside possibility. There's not enough confidence it would happen, but it's not completely out of the realm. So they issue this kind of say that it's kind of like almost a pre-tornado warning, just to kind of let you guys know about the severe characteristics for one, but then indicate that if this rotation ramped up any more, then a tornado warning will have to go out. And obviously that'll be triggering all the phones there, and folks have to take their tornado precautions, but still got to be careful in this area right now, in the word part of St. Johns County. Again, you see that little hook there, again, a little notch per se on this. As we're looking at things, as we're monitoring things here. It's not maybe as well defined as it was, which is a good sign. You can see how it's a little bit more well defined earlier on. But a lot of rain in this area for sure. That's going to be a big story, I think, in the days to come. You see areas around South Ponte Vedra picking up maybe over 4 inches now of rain here. Storm totals. So that's in that white area. And the purple over 3 inches of rainfall here. So that's a lot of precipitation, folks, and that can cause some flooding. That's why there's a flood warning here in effect. A flood warning in effect right now. So just gotta be kind of mindful what we're dealing with there at this point in time. Again, you see that electrical energy here on our Doppler. I know stuff's pushed away from Stark right now, which is good, but Jacksonville Airport got to 31 miles an hour recently. You can kind of see more just the heavy rain to the north, not seeing the lightning maybe up that way as much better than folks in St. Mary. So gotta be careful though, just in case we get some lightning strikes that kind of become a issue again. But as you look toward the south, that's where we have this warning continuing toward areas there around, it looks like a US 1. Some weak rotation there just west of US 1 at this point in time. Don't really see anything in terms of signatures that are just overwhelming, which is good news, but we'll just continue to watch. It looks weaker, looks more broad, more diffuse here, but we'll just continue to track it, continue to give you guys the latest. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and keep looking at things here, keep giving you guys the very latest. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, we're being told there's an observed land spout now. Okay, so they're saying there is a land spout then, okay, but no, I'm not going to go with any tornado warning, but that would indicate maybe a weaker spin to the surface. Then we could have gusts maybe to 50 with that, possibly. So, because otherwise they'd have to issue a tornado warning if they thought the gusts were any higher. So, this is toward parts of central St. Johns County till about 6 o'clock at 5:17. Doppler's tracking strong thunderstorm producing a landspout along a line extending from near Fruit Cove to near Ward Golf Village to near Picolata. Movement was northeast at 35 miles an hour. So Fruit Cove, Ward Golf Village, South Ponte Vedra, Nocatee, Durban, Switzerland, Guana River State Park, South Ponte Vedra Beach. So kind of saying there's a weak spin down to the surface, but they don't think it's a tornado then. It's been observed apparently, confirmed, but they only think the winds would be on the order of about 50 miles an hour or so. It's kind of intriguing, to be quite honest. Don't normally see that type of phrasing around here, but we'll just continue to track, continue to watch here. I know we'll just be giving you guys the very latest here as the situation progresses. So apparently there's been an observed landspout, which is again just short, just a little bit weaker than a tornado. That's what they're saying here anyway. Angela Nietti here with the Weather Service in her statement that she sent out at 5:17. So apparently a landspout there from near Fruit Cove to Ward Golf Village to near Picolata, somewhere in that area, is where we've had a landspout. So again, just gotta be careful here. Again, that'd be further back toward the west here in this, as we're watching things versus where the actual severe thunderstorm warning is. So not enough for any type of warning, but apparently we've had some spin toward the surface here. So again, just continuing to give you guys the latest. So let me go ahead and indicate to you guys what we're talking about. We're talking about a landspout. You see again that little polygon there from Fruit Cove to the south. That's an advisory right now. They just apparently a landspout. Maybe it was something. Let's see if it's toward the St. Johns River. Yeah, maybe that's what they're talking about, but then that'd be more of a water spout though. So again, I don't have a lot of information on this, so we're kind of just speculating, guessing here at this point, to be quite honest. Since they did say it was an observed landspout, and generally, honestly, around here, other parts of the country, maybe not so much. I mean, maybe so. It just depends on where you are. But landspout, honestly, if you had an observed landspout, I kind of would go with a tornado warning then. But maybe it happened a few minutes ago because I mean, different sources. I mean, when I look it up, landspout's a type of tornado. So is the definition that I see. So, but maybe not exactly part of something really organized. So it's kind of tricky here. I mean, to have an observed landspout. I kind of would have, it must not be very impressive at all. Maybe not even win to 50 with it. Then I don't have video of it. They must have seen it and see that it's not very impressive, or they would have went with something a little bit higher on me because that's kind of odd. But again, let's just go ahead and keep watching things. Okay, they dropped to severe thunderstorm warning now towards St. John. We've seen a weakening here, toward that area as we're watching things. So that severe thunderstorm warning's expiring out. It's technically still in play to 5:30, but since they didn't just cancel it, it technically goes to 5:30. But it's not a tornado warning. We don't have to stay to the end of that time frame necessarily. But again, you can see some rotation in the coastal waters now, just there south of that Ward Beach there. As you're looking at things, I mean, kind of interesting in that overall regard. But again, looking back toward the west here, 35, 40 mile an hour winds showing up in this area again. Maybe they'll put in out a storm report since we had that apparently observed landspout. I wonder if it was down here. This looks like it could have been an area with some rotation. That was just there right near the St. Johns, but I would have used maybe water spout observed then if they were going to use that type of phrasing. Maybe they're not able to in their text, their advisories. I'm not sure, depending on what options they have. But again, we see a little bit of rotation. There you go, 459. You can see a little bit of rotation back toward the west, but that wasn't really in an organized fashion there. So again, interesting. This is west of I-95 right now in St. Johns County. So again, State Road 16 there. while we're talking, one of the areas that could be nearby. Let me just kind of look at some of my tools that I have here in the Weather Center at my disposal right now, trying to give you guys the latest. I'm just going to see if I can get anything on camera because it'd be helpful if we could. Hopefully or not, though, quite honestly, because, I mean, it's still a little bit more significant maybe than what everybody's thinking here at this point. So, again, let's go ahead and check here. I'm just looking. I really don't see a lot on camera. Flood advisory for Clay and Duval to 7:30, by the way. I just came on down. We'll pop this camera up. It may not be really in the right direction here, right view, but we'll just kind of see the conditions right now. I-95, that area there toward, it looks like mile marker 322, the wet roads, darker skies, at least the storyline there in that Florida 511 perspective. But again, I'm just trying to let you guys know what's going on there right now. I'm going to check some more of my sources to see if there's anything on that land spout, because again, that technically is kind of a weaker version of a tornado in some ways, but again, it's kind of interesting here. Kind of interesting as I go ahead and look at things, I monitor things here. I'm just going to go ahead and see what we're dealing with, see if there's anything new. Let me go ahead, zoom out just a little bit here on the view right now. If there are any questions or comments from any of the viewers at home, I think that might be a good thing to do. This stuff gets closer to the coast. Just have to kind of watch it, obviously. But we'll probably wrap it up soon since that warning's expiring on out. But I'm just going to stick with you guys just a little bit longer here. Don't see any questions or comments right now. But again, I just thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for trusting me here on this Tuesday, the September 26th, 2023. So I'm just going to keep looking at things here, keep monitoring them. I think that's going to do it for now since we don't have that warning continuing. Let me just zoom in here real quick, that other area that we had no warning on. It technically, it goes off the map. It technically still goes for 5 more minutes. It's a lot weaker. It's assuming winds to about 40 back out toward State Road 13 there. A little bit of maybe, I don't see much there, but maybe a little bit of weak rotation pushing out towards Sawgrass. We'll watch that. Here's some stronger winds, at least 27, 28, 33 observed, and Duval 32 observed. So nothing overwhelming there. Power outage numbers, let's check that again, make sure nothing's happened with those. Again, looking 936 out in Duval now. None so far St. John's according to Paradise.us, but let me click on JEA, Jacksonville Electric Authority, to see if there's anything new. Okay, now it's up to 2,053 customers in the dark in Duval County. That's the latest number on JEA that are in the dark right now, so it's a little bit higher, obviously. So seeing some of those outages occur there, so hopefully power comes back on soon. Since it is rush hour, it's worth reminding you guys that when the traffic light is out there, you just gotta treat the intersection as a 4-way stop. So that's something to kind of monitor here and really be advised of and know about. So we're going to wrap it up for now. If we get some new information, and we'll let you guys know here from the Weather Center. But interesting to hear that there was apparently a land spout, which is technically a weaker version of a tornado, but they don't think, it must have been really weak. They must think it was really, really weak. Maybe not even 1 to 50, because, I mean, as we look here at our enhanced Vegeta scale here, and let me take, I apologize, let me take that off so you can see that a little bit better. But again, looking at things here, I mean, light damage really with the EF0 and ranking starts with ones at 65 miles an hour. So we're just going to go ahead and see what's going on with there. But so they were thinking winds were under 50, but maybe, I mean, honestly, I would have to think it probably more like 30 or 40. I really don't know what they saw, so I'm kind of just guessing, but to have it as a land spout observed, kind of interesting. So I was out toward that area there, closer to St. John's, it would seem, somewhere in that vicinity. So maybe it's a water spout, and the land spout phrasing is a little bit off there. But again, If it's land's bad or water's bad and it kind of weakened there, then that's what you may want to do before it comes on land, and or as it's coming on and has weakened. That might be something to put in there. But just kind of looking, I was looking at debris tracker, make sure nothing popped out on that. Let's go back on this. They issued it at 517, so let's kind of add this up. Make sure nothing stood out. I mean, it's honestly kind of hard to tell in there. Let's see, was this something out here? So, well, that's way back at 503. There was a little something there almost. I wonder. Let's check this area. That was at 508. Make sure we get our numbers times correlated here. Kind of hard to tell. I mean, there's some different areas, but there's nothing really definitive, which would kind of, I mean, if there's something definitive, they'd have to obviously go with a tornado warning. So, we're watching some winds in there. I'm seeing some little higher numbers now popping up. That's what the highest I've seen on this mode, so I gotta be a little bit careful with this. They're now saying winds to about, or at least in this here, 46, but in this new statement it is sent out 50-mile-an-hour winds a possibility. So that's for parts of Flagler, St. John's, and Putnam. So let's kind of watch things here as we watch the overall environment. Again, that's to about 6:15. So that's under severe limits here at this point. So again, just continuing to track things. I know we were going a moment ago. I just saying all the sources wrong before I pulled up our enhanced Vegeta scale, but I was just wanting to kind of run down what we talk about. We don't have winds to 65 technically. Maybe not an EF0 tornado then, but again, Facebook Casey Cloud Everyday Acts, Facebook Cloud Weather, Twitter at Cloud Casey, YouTube at Cloud Weather, Twitch Cloud Weather, Cloud.com. All the different resources that we have for you guys. Here you see a new box pop up, a new significant weather advisory pop up as we're looking towards St. Augustine there. And that potential down there, that gets to about 50 miles an hour moving toward I-95. We'll have to just watch, make sure nothing kind of gets back together with those greens and reds, or any of these reds get any brighter. They might go the thunderstorm warning here. Again, I mean, you see a little bit of rotation in the sawgrass, so this is stuff, it's not overland that much longer here, and we'll have a break. Seems like it's moving quicker than what the model was showing earlier that I was showing you guys here by a pretty good ways, but we'll have a break. But until the stuff gets out of the water, which will be an issue for Marines there, in terms of those that would, I should say marine interest, but again, mariners per se would be the better way to say that. But again, just go ahead and continue to watch things, continue to track things here in the Weather Center until it gets out there and it's more of a marine interest from mariners, boaters, and the like. We still got to kind of watch it over land here. We'll just go ahead and watch things here. See some lightning and the like. So whenever thunder roars, go indoors. But need to be indoors because we could have gusts that are just on the cusp of severe or some type of weak spin that tries to get down to the surface. Anywhere, I mean, really, from, let's say, Armstrong at this point, all the way up here to, I mean, I see a little bit of one enhancement even to the airport. Let's check radar to correlate that. Yeah, even, so anywhere from about Bernardino Beach all the way down to south of St. Augustine to the community of Armstrong. I'd really be kind of careful here. I mean, you're under advisory even a little bit further south, so probably something to be careful down there as well, and there's thunder around. But just anywhere in there, could have some gusty winds, something that happens there. It'd be isolated in nature, don't get me wrong. Otherwise, I mean, other areas won't get it as bad, damaging per se, but there might be a damaging pocket somewhere in there. No official warning, except for the special marine warning further off toward the east here, but no official warning otherwise. Here, that special marine warning goes to 6:45. Bernardino Beach to St. Augustine for the coastal waters. But again, just continuing to watch them. I do see rotation trackers really honing in on that area near Sawgrass. I want to stick with this just a second because I don't think I see it as high as this is showing, but it's just showing stronger rotation than what we had with our tornado warning this morning. I don't think it's that type, but our algorithm was picking up on it too. If we went off with this, by the time we could come back on, it'd be pretty much over the threat there of rotation to the surface over land. So may want to stick with this just a moment here, because that's kind of interesting. I mean, okay, it looks like it's tightening up a bit, but it's going to be over water here very soon. I mean, that's going to be about a minute or two behind on that mode. So it's right there at the coast then. if we were to have any type of spin. It's not, if it's down to the surface right near A1A right now. So, I mean, I've seen it before. Okay, then they get some very short-lived tornado warnings, like a few minutes even. So it hadn't happened maybe in a little while, but you just got to be kind of cognizant of that here as we're looking toward northern St. Johns County here right now. A little bit of pocket of wind right over Sawgrass there. Right over Sawgrass. Seeing some winds there to about 45 miles an hour. Not seeing any debris, which is good, obviously. That wasn't a debris signature. As they go back toward the south here towards St. Augustine, there's a few different little areas here, right around Volano, another one on I-95. That didn't look as impressive as the other two, but again, I gotta be kind of careful in here then. I gotta be kind of careful. Let me see what rotation trackers some of the other areas here. Now, it's an algorithm, it's not humanized or anything like that, so we're not going to do quite as good of a job here indicating this thread because it's not exactly a huge type of scenario here. But still, we're just going to watch, we're just going to track here. I know, let's just, as I'm sticking with you for a moment, let's see the current temperatures. Haven't done that much here as I've been looking at things. You see 70s most areas, but still in the 80s in like Williston and Flagler Beach and Ocala. As we zoom on out a little bit further, you can kind of see a lot further now. I know we'll go up to the areas of like, you can see the wind potential in Missouri even, and Illinois. There's a little bit of threat up there. And then tornado threat further up, though, you kind of see that contrast. I don't get that very often, that kind of difference there. You see some areas of tropical interest here as you look out there. We'll watch those more later, but I don't want to get into that too much right now. Not anything really concerning right now. We'll have to watch for rain and moisture. But I know one thing that's interesting, we did have a lot of rain around St. Simon's Island today. I know we didn't have any type of flash flood warning for them, but a record rainfall of 5.28 inches was set there today. That breaks the old record there. 4.4 set back in 1953. So for today, the daily maximum record for just September 26th was previously 4.4 in one day, but today we had 5 inches of rain there around St. Simon's Island. You kind of see that over the last 12 hours. It's been a busy radar picture, and this is our rainfall estimate. I mean, this really tells a story. I'll kind of write the colors down for you. Now, we're in Bradford County, not as much down here. Almost about 8/10 of an inch or so as we're looking at things. That's kind of the storyline there. But south of Tallahassee, some of those areas, we started down there, we had just areas there. We were watching that one area with that tornado warning this morning in particular. And you can see some areas in Liberty County that read 3 inches, but then South Choppy there, closer to 6 inches of rain. You see this east of St. Teresa, south of Panacea, around Crawfordville, about 1 or 2 inches. Tallahassee, closer to an inch. East side of town, maybe a little bit more, but this area is vulnerable because of Idalia. Got quite a bit too around Perry as we're getting to that month anniversary, 4-week anniversary tomorrow. But over 2 inches in Perry area there. Over 3 inches in Jefferson County, parts of that zone, and then in Madison County, some areas near 4 inches. Lowndes County over 3 inches. Some of those spots in the red there, lighter red, is the higher rain than the darker red and the purple. But again, lighter red there, again, around St. Simon's Island, eastern Glenn County over 3 inches. You can see some areas near 95 over 2 to 3, and parts of Camden County, Nassau County, close to 3 inches there. As well, so even down towards St. John, seeing more of the rain. So a lot of the rain here on the board today over the last hour. But you can see the areas that have had the most rain. Then a lot of rain in the coastal waters out there east of Jacks, but that was a storyline as well. Watching some stuff west there, Port St. Joe as well. Some marine warnings here, even some waterfowl potential. We'll watch that hopefully for the time being. They'll stay west of our area, but. Again, I just continue to track everything here. I just hesitate when we have these areas of rotation because, I mean, seconds count when you have maybe a tornado warning that comes on the board. We want to try to give as much lead time as possible. So you're seeing some rotation east of Alana, maybe some type of water spout out in the coastal waters. Some rotation west of St. Augustine as well. It's pretty weak there on that leading edge, though. On that leading edge, but we'll watch it. I don't see it. It's not in the greatest spot, I don't think. There's some rotation there west of Ponte Vedra Beach. Weak. These areas are weak rotation. Don't get me wrong. There's a little something there we'll have to watch. Kind of bowed out more to the south there, Sawgrass, but you can kind of see what we're talking about there. Some winds around Ponte Vedra Beach there as we're looking. And the rotation tracker kind of shows some of this here as well. Again, that one area there, as we get on in, just with the Sawgrass. There's around St. Augustine to some degree there. Again, we're just continuing to watch, continuing to track here, trying to give you guys the latest information to protect you, your friends, and your family. That's what it's all about here at Cloud Weather, trying to give you guys the very latest on what's going on. I know, again, if you subscribe there on YouTube, and enable all the notifications to know about whenever we come on the air on YouTube. You can also back up to stream live when you're watching versus having to wait after it's over on some other platforms. They're like Facebook and Twitter, so that's the advantage there of YouTube. Make sure if you haven't already done so, it's free to do there. Hit the subscribe button at Cloud Weather on YouTube if you can't find it that way by typing in youtube.com/@cloudweather. It should be pretty easy, but if not, search for meteorologist Casey Cloud there in that search bar if that's just easier for you, and then you can subscribe that way. And make sure you hit the like button on the videos that you're watching there, because that enables the algorithm to get this out to more people, maybe in a more timely manner even. So that's helpful as well. So whenever we come on with the very latest. So, again, no formal warnings right now except for the marine warning here, the flood warning, not any type of weather radio ones for the land areas anyway. I mean, you can get marine warnings on your weather radio, but you don't get flood warnings, aerial flood warnings on that. But if you have this program for the counties, you're not going to get a marine warning like you would a severe thunderstorm warning, flash flood warning, or tornado warning. None of those right now. That's the good news. Heavy rain on Ponte Vedra Beach, so be careful there. A little bit of weak rotation there. We'll watch it. We'll track it. If we get something that we need to pop back in for, we will. I mean, that's right there, the coast, and that's from a few moments ago. So by now, it's going to be pretty much into the coastal water. The A1A, though, right around Ponte Vedra, seeing some weak rotation. So I feel like they're going to be content here unless they really get a report or see something with just kind of riding this out here with the advisories until these get into the coastal waters. But not completely out of the question that we could get another warning. If we do, we'll let you guys know about it. Whether if it's not impressive enough, we just post about it, maybe Facebook and Twitter. But if it's a tornado warning, we're jumping on all the different platforms, obviously, to protect you, your friends, and your family. So again, that's what it's all about. We did it this morning here. Very early hour coming on there, giving you guys the latest. You see where the instability is more to the south than the north, but it didn't matter for St. Simons Island, where they picked up over 5 inches of rain today. That's a lot of rain. That can happen in any spot, really, in this scenario in the days to come. So be careful, be advised. We'll continue to watch the trends in the model and have an updated forecast for you. We had give you the heads up this morning when we had that tornado warning that we were going to see more increasing coverage than we had in that forecast back last Thursday, and with higher rain chances for today than what we had in there for today, back based on what we had last Thursday there. Ended up seeing that come into play here. A lot of areas getting that precipitation here. If we need to let you guys know about more information before our formal update later tonight, we will. But otherwise, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for trusting me. I have cloudweather.com/radar for an interactive look at things. You can do that when you're watching me or when we're not on the air. That's helpful there to get an idea of what's going on. I will let you know more here if and as needed.